This is all the ways I've made money as a low-time comic artist. So back in 2023, I was in a bookstore. I won't say the name of the bookstore because the story doesn't end that well. Even though I did make a decent amount of money from it. So back in October 2023, I made a comic. And the comic was called Should I Blow It Up? It was my first physical print, so I wanted it to be, as good as humanly possible. So I tried going to all of my local shops, and some local shops did actually take me in around my area, so coffee shops. So that's one way you can make some money. I didn't make money, but I got some name recognition for that, portfolio or something. So after that, I went to an actual bookstore in December 2023, and I made sure I blow it up. I printed a lot off. I was in my university at the time, so we had really low printing fees. So if you don't have really low printing fees, the second thing I tried to do was I tried to make my own ink, and I tried to make my own paper to cut down on all of the costs. It was easy to make my own paper and my own ink. There's plenty of tutorials online on how to do that, and I did that, so you can do it too. But for my actual bookstore release, it was printer paper edition, right? I used my school printer to make this happen. Or you can use your local library to print if you don't have a printer. So yeah, I went over, I took it to the guy. It was in the Camden market. It was in Camden. Very high profile place. And the way I actually got into the bookstore is I was calling a bunch of these bookstores. I searched on Google. I said bookstores I can put my comic into. Gosh Comics is amazing place. Highly recommend. You can probably make some really good money there. Or you can go to bookstores in Camden Market. There's plenty of them. I was in the bookstore in Camden Market, but me personally, I'd probably go for either Gosh Comics or Camden Market. But let's go back into the story. So yeah, I sold my comics there. I met the shopkeeper, and from then on out, I was selling my comics to him. I make comics, I sell comics, I made money from the comics, right? I was probably making I want to say probably £20 a week. So it's a very small time, but I'm a no-name artist and I wasn't promoting myself. So if you're in my position, probably the best thing that you can probably do is promote your activities on TikTok. Say that you're in Camden Market. It would probably do numbers on TikTok if you post like 30 times a day or something, or maybe even less, like 5 times a day. Just post it. Okay, so after that, the reason why I'm not talking about the money in particular is because when I went to collect the money, the author started giving me like this sob story about how he can't feed his 2 daughters at home. The bookstore wasn't the best, so it was struggling, don't get me wrong. Which is why I probably recommend going to Gosh Comics, because they actually have big name recognition and they're not struggling. But the bookstore I went to was struggling. And he was like, oh yeah man, I mean, I don't know like if I can feed my daughters. And I came there, my comic did sell. So after I put my comic, it did sell and it did make some numbers. But I never saw those numbers because, what do I look like? Asking the man who's just told me, hey, I can't really feed my daughters, times are tough. I was 18 at the time. I didn't really need the money. I still had a house over my head and I wasn't providing for anybody. So I just decided not to bring up the topic and just let him keep the money. It was getting expensive to keep printing out the comics. So I was selling my comics at about £3 because they were like very flimsy, and it was a 50-50 cut, so I was getting £1.50 from each of the comics. But I made a crap ton of comics, and they were selling, bro. They were selling, so it was good, but I wasn't seeing enough money back for me to really press him on the topic. So I kind of just dropped that. So, but in your case, you can probably go to bookstores. Okay, so the next thing that I personally did was